Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school. We are in our 12th year homeschooling this year. Today I am participating in a collaboration with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way, all about how we use tech in our homeschool. So let's get started. First, I want to welcome you if you are new here. I'm so happy to have you here. I am a literature-based homeschooler for the most part, although we do spend an awful lot of time on passion projects and interest-led learning as well. If you are not subscribed, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you are notified of all of my future videos. When I saw that the topic was how we use tech in our homeschool, I was really excited. Now, when my kids were really little, my older two, when they were really little, I definitely wanted to stay away from screens. I was very much into being outside in nature and doing a lot of art projects and trying to keep my kids off screens. However, as they have gotten older, I have realized that a lot of their passions lie with technology. And so instead of stifling that, I want to support them in those creative endeavors. And so we do use tech a lot in our homeschool and a lot in our family in general. And I think part of that is because I've had a website since a very long time, and my kids have always seen me using technology for my business. And so they also want to have that opportunity to use technological resources and to learn new things through technology. So we have come to the realization that we are just a tech family, and that is totally okay. Actually, one of the goals that I have this year is for us to have a screen-free day once a week. I tend to practice a screen-free day or a Sabbath for myself on Sundays, but I don't enforce that on anybody else in my family. However, this year I talked to my kids and we all decided that we would pick a day during the week, each week, where we would have a screen-free day. And so this means even some of the homeschool resources that we typically will use online or on the screens, computers, whatnot, we are not doing those things that way in that day. But I have a bunch of resources that I want to share with you today. So I'm going to just start sharing those. The first thing is our math curriculum. And for math, we use teaching textbooks. We use Singapore math, the primary US edition, up through level 6B, which some of my kids have done, well, with Jack and Emma. Lucy's still in level 2 at the moment. Jack and Emma both finished level 6 their first semester in 6th grade. And so I floundered a bit with Emma trying to figure out what to do next, but we came to teaching textbooks and I'm really happy with that. I actually did try the Shoreman math this year. Emma is in geometry now, and I had heard so much buzz about Shoreman math in the homeschool YouTube community. And so I gave it a try. I love math myself. I'm not a huge fan of geometry. I'm much more algebra, algebra 2, pre-calculus, all of those types of things. Geometry is not my thing. We tried Shoreman and Emma was just not having it at all. So we switch back to teaching textbooks, and that's going great. So pre-algebra is when they start in teaching textbooks. And my kids are great at math. We have done standardized testing and they are great. So I have no problems with teaching textbooks whatsoever. We do use an analog/online approach for Emma, where I print out her lesson and she does it on paper and then she inputs it into the computer for the ease of correcting and grading for me. So that is what we use for our math. That's the first tech tool that we use in our homeschool. The next one is a service called CuriosityStream. It is a documentary streaming service where they compile all kinds of documentaries. I think there's thousands and thousands of documentaries and the crash course programs and all kinds of wonderful information. It's sorted by they have like history or science, and then they have different types of science and computer science and life science and so many different categories. There are child safety features in that program as well if you want to set those up for your younger kids. But we love CuriosityStream. It is $20 for a full year of streaming, and we use it all the time. I use it when I am not feeling well, but I still want the kids to do something engaging and interactive. They use it for research, for different research projects, mainly my older two. My youngest, we love to watch the science documentaries, all the animal documentaries, and it incorporates well with her science this year as well. But that is such an amazing service. We started subscribing to that maybe 5 years ago, I think, and I love it. I love it because I love documentaries myself, like all of the food and farming documentaries and like agriculture type stuff. I love all of that. And so if you're looking for a documentary streaming service, obviously a lot of these documentaries are around free on different streaming services, but it's nice to just have it all compiled in one place for me. So it's very easy to look for something when I want to add something, when we are, doing US history or world history, and I want to drive a certain point home. It is a great, great service to have for my kids, and they will just go on and watch documentaries for fun, which I always encourage, because anything that is them learning when they don't feel that pressure or that they, I don't know really how to frame it. When they're like having educational autonomy, where they are learning without feeling the slog of pressure of different subjects, I love that for my kids. And in fact, the majority of our school is like that, which is nice when they don't think that they are in school because they are enjoying it. That is really my goal, is that they have a love of learning. And this is one of the tools that we use to incorporate that love of learning. If you're interested in CuriosityStream, I will have links for all of these resources in the description box, and you can check them out for yourself. The next tech tool that we use in our home is WorldWatch, which is a Christian worldview current events program. It's like 10 minutes a day. My kids love it. They think it's a lot of fun, and they have a lot of great conversation. Emma especially is constantly pausing during that 10-minute broadcast and talking with Jack about the different news reports and how she feels about them. So they watch that every day in the morning. Sometimes Lucy will watch too, but it's a great service. I can't remember how much it costs for a year because it is a subscription. There are other news, like daily news type things. CNN 10 is one of them. We never used CNN 10 because we started WorldWatch when my kids started doing current events several years ago. I think it was I was on the launch team, and I think it was right at the beginning of 2020 that they started having that, right before COVID actually happened. Another tool that my youngest primarily uses online is Night Zookeeper, which is an English and language arts program. We use it as a supplement because we use Sunlight Language Arts, but she has a lot of fun going in there and doing the little games and writing things, and she likes there's like immediate feedback from the program, and so it's a lot of fun for her, and that is also something that Jack and Emma can help her with. That is the next tech tool that we use in our homeschool. The next one is a service called Skillshare. If you've not heard of Skillshare, it's another it's not a subscription. Yeah, it is a subscription. So you pay a fee either monthly or yearly, and you have access to a ton of online classes, and they are all self-paced. My kids really, really like Skillshare. This is a new service that we are trying this year. I got a year subscription in August, and part of that was because it offered classes on Unreal Engine, which my son Jack uses to create video games. It also offered courses on Blender, which is like a drawing animation software, and the Adobe Creative Cloud. It also offered music writing classes, ukulele lessons, piano lessons, all of that stuff my older two kids are really, really into. So Emma loves animation, and she uses the Adobe Creative Cloud for that, Adobe Animate. She also uses Adobe Fresco on her iPad to do drawing and animation. Both of my kids use Premiere Pro for video editing and Photoshop for editing pictures, and they love all of that stuff. And I love that they have that drive to learn all of these creative endeavors. I understand Premiere Pro because that is what I use for editing my videos, but I don't have any knowledge about animation or anything like that. And so when I found out that Skillshare offered a lot of those classes specific for Adobe Creative Cloud and Blender and Unreal Engine, was very helpful to me, because if I don't know those types of things, but my kids still want to learn them, I need to find the resources in order to teach them. And so these classes have been great for my kids. I do have a link for a month free if you want to try it. It's a really great service. I'm so pleased with it, and we will definitely be sticking with that as we go into next year. Some of the other things that we do for tech in our homeschool, we use a lot of YouTube tutorials for different things. We obviously use the internet to look up information for research projects. We use the computer to request books from the library. We are really lucky as homeschoolers today to have so much information at our fingertips. We really have the opportunity to give our children the tools that they need to pursue any type of passion that they have. And that is really important to me. I want my kids to have passion projects, and I want them to figure out what they find important in life and figure out their talents and their strengths. And just having the ability to find a lot of those resources online has been so helpful, especially as my kids get older and their interests are way outside of my knowledge base. But just having the ability to find things like help for math. If for some reason they're really struggling with a concept in math, they can go to YouTube, they can go to Khan Academy, they can use a phone and take a picture of the problem and have a complete solution written out for them and explained if they're unable to figure it out and I can't explain it to them. So things like that are such amazing tools to have available. If we can give our kids the tools to lean into their passions and really make progress, I think that it's such an important thing. I want my kids to want to learn new things. And so I don't really limit their tech time. Obviously, we are doing like a screen-free day once a week, but my kids don't feel deprived. They are really good at managing their time and their tech time. So I don't know if that's because I've not put a lot of parameters in place, or if my kids just understand that technology isn't just for consumption, it's for production. That is a big part of our, I guess, tech philosophy in our home. If you are using a screen for something productive, I'm much more likely to say, yes, go ahead. So for instance, when Jack was younger, he loves video games. I mean, he still loves video games. That is nothing new. But when he was younger, I didn't want him on Nintendo all day, obviously. So it became a thing where if you want to create your own video game using some sort of computer coding. We started with Scratch. Actually, right now I will insert a video. While I'm recording this video, Jack and Lucy are working on Scratch. He is teaching her Scratch as part of her science this year, and it's so fun to see them working together. And for Lucy, she's just loves to work with her big brother on these types of things. So but when he is being productive and learning a new skill while also creating a computer game or a video game or whatnot, I think that that is amazing. It gives him new skills and it gives him some buy-in as to what he is doing with technology, and he realizes that he's not just a consumer, he is a producer. And that's I think that's one of the main lessons that I try to drive home about technology in our home and in our homeschool, is that we want to be producers. We don't just want to be consumers. Now, obviously, there are times when we just veg out and watch movies for fun. Not everything has to be turned into a compare and contrast paper, but just having the ability to utilize the tools and be productive with those things, I think is really good, especially now that my kids are getting older. I mean, Jax wanted to work at Nintendo since he was 4. I think that's when he first said that. So he has been building his skills for many years now with that goal in mind. Emma is very arts oriented and really enjoys animation. And I can see her maybe going the way of graphic design. She loves writing music and performing music. So all of those types of things are, to have the tools to learn those things on a screen is a great option, especially if you live in a rural area like we do and you don't have maybe as many opportunities for classes, like in-person classes. And especially over the past few years, that really hasn't been an option in my area at least. So yeah, so these are some of the tools that we use. Obviously, we use YouTube for a myriad of things, lots of, when the kids are little, lots of science experiments. And, I'm not great with the science experiments. So if we can find a video of somebody else doing the science experiment, that is great. Although, when my kids are little, we do the elephant toothpaste, we do the slime, we do those types of things. There are so many tutorials for drawing and physical education. Emma and I both do yoga with Adriene. When the kids are younger, they use Cosmic Kids Yoga. There are all kinds of fun things that you can use the screens for, and it doesn't have to be just completely vegging out. And I think that's really the difference that I want to drive home, that if you are learning a new skill, if you are learning something, if you're utilizing technology for learning, I think that it is wonderful. It's a wonderful tool that you want your kids to be able to use. So these are all of the tools, and I'm sure that I'm missing some, that we use in our homeschool that are technology based. I really do try to give my kids as much freedom as possible when it comes to technology. I want them to learn to manage it. I don't want to be the one managing it for them. I think that it really depends on your kids if you need to put limits in place for technology. My kids tend to understand that if they're doing something productive, they are able to continue using the technology. But if they're just, completely zoning out, then obviously we don't encourage that. And I do want to encourage my kids to use it well. I want to teach them that there is a time and a place for technology, and I want them to be able to manage it for themselves. Now, obviously, there are times when I need to say, okay, everybody shut off your screens. But for the most part, I try to let them, my older two, self-manage. And when I give them the freedom to do that, they tend to work on more creative pursuits. And that is really exciting for me to see. I'm really happy to see that when I give them the tools, which I find based on our monthly conferences and the vision boards that my kids do each year, just trying to find those online tools to learn the skills that they want to is important. And when I deliver it to them as, here's a new learning resource for you, they actually use it that way. So it's really nice to see how they are able to be producers in a technological world. So that was That was a little bit of a roundabout how we use technology in our homeschool. I think technology is great. It would be very difficult for me as somebody who works in an online space to tell my kids that they can't use technology. And I think that there's just so much available at our fingertips that I want them to know how to find that information and to learn the skills that they need to know as they are, starting to get ready to launch into adulthood. I want them to have the skills to find the information that they need, and technology is a great tool to help them get there. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I will have a playlist with the other people that are participating in this collaboration in the description box, and all of the things that I've talked about today will also be in the description box. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.